right there.
It's called rage quit, not crazy.
I saw it. I saw the rage.
Hello, everybody out there. Sorry, we had some technical difficulties. I don't know exactly what happened with the Hangout. So now I opened up a new one, so hopefully people can find it. So tonight we're talking about Hearthstone. Robert and I already talked about our first impressions, but we can talk about it again.
We'll do it again. We'll do it live.
Do it again, all over again. But now we have drinks, so maybe that'll make it better. Yay!
There it is.
Here with me tonight is Robert, Shane, and Tony, who is away from his computer.
Getting that drink.
He's getting booze.
Oh, okay. More drinks. So, Robert, start over.
Yes. Okay.
Sorry.
That's okay. What did you get, Tony? What did you get to drink?
Okay, so I got Whiter's pear cider. It's actually pretty good. I like it a lot. So.
I'll give that a try at some point.
They all have fancy drinks, and I don't.
Yeah, well, you know.
I have Oz, a Old Vine Zinfandel.
That's garbage. Wine is doo-doo.
Oh, it's so good.
I can't do it. It's
Really?
I've tried it. It's just not my cup of tea.
Oh.
I'm the same way. I really love cider though. Cider's my beer. Or booze.
So the question was, what was our first impressions of Hearthstone? And my first impression when I first heard about it was I was a little confused because I at the time had known that Blizzard had already had a collectible card game, which was the World of Warcraft trading card game, and this was, at the time, I thought was just going to be a digital version of that. So in a way I was confused but also kind of excited because I didn't want to invest into a bunch of cards, but I thought, hey, it'd be kind of fun to play it online. Then I discovered that the game was not the same, but it was the same IP, and so I was confused, like, you know, whether or not it was going to be competing with the physical game. Then I learned that the physical game was no longer going to be in print, or wasn't at the time, and this was kind of like Blizzard's the evolution of having the card game, or a card game, but now digital. So I thought, okay, well, I'll give it a try. I looked it up, and apparently it was in the beta at the time, so I signed up for the beta. Eventually, got into the beta, and started playing it. And honestly, my first reaction was just sort of, you know, a meh. You know, it's like, this is all right. This is okay. But that was just my first reaction. That's not really how I feel now. But I'll let other people respond to that question. Tony.
All right. So my first impression was, obviously, if you've heard our earlier hangouts, kind of focused with the Magic the Gathering in mind. So I was very much I was pleasantly surprised about it because there were a lot of similarities between Magic, but there were differences also that really threw me for a loop. So I couldn't just like apply my Magic expertise to it. Like I actually kind of tried, and then I was like, oh, I'm messing up and stuff. So like I needed to relearn a few ideas and strategies to play with it. So so it was a nice impression for me because I was going in kind of thinking, oh, well, I'm just gonna own this. I kind of know what to do already, and then I had to relearn some stuff. So it was similar but different enough to make me have fun with it.
Mm-hmm. Shane?
Well, card games in general has to be my weakest field of gaming. But it hasn't deterred me from it. Texting you yesterday how mad I got, how addicting I got into the game, and it reminded me of like when I used to play Magic. I didn't play Magic hardcore, but I used to play it a fair amount.
Mm-hmm.
And I like it because it reminds me of how you play WoW, how like in Magic you have your blue and reds and blacks and all that. Like you would play certain classes, you'd stack or not stack kind of thing.
Hmm.
And it kind of reminded me of that. It's just like, wow, I remember playing this kind of back in WoW, but it has its own little, I guess, identity too.
Yeah.
So
Well, it certainly hits that, you know, card game itch, but also that World of Warcraft itch because of, the way it looks, obviously, but because the way they, designed all the classes, you really kind of feel like you're playing a hunter or you're playing a druid or a warlock, even though it's not the same, there's still elements. They were able to translate that really well into a card game and in ways that you can believe. There's stuff that's clearly different or not quite logical, but it's just a game and they do it well and it's fun. So, yeah, but Sonia, go ahead. What's your first impressions?
Okay, so at first I was not excited about the game because I had been playing Scrolls by Mojang, whatever, and I figured, oh, it's kind of going to be the same thing. It's just I'm not going to be that into it because it'll just be a lot of the same. Just the look of it in general is different. So when I first saw that, I went, okay, it's starting to seem different to me. In Scrolls, you have your little 3D characters, and you bring your cards out, and they fight each other. And then in Hearthstone, it's little placards, and there's lots of fun flair and everything into that too. So I got more excited about it, but it also plays a little bit differently. It's got the Warcraft world, the characters and everything like that. So I got really excited, and the part about it that made me the most excited and wanting to play it more than Scrolls was the fact that I know more people that play it. I had a hard time with Scrolls from the get-go because I only could really play with Robert and a couple other people, and as soon as I get better, even though I'm still playing against like decks and AI, eventually I want to play with my friends, because in WoW, for me, that was the whole point, was to play with my friends. And so I am definitely more excited now about Hearthstone because I have that chance to do more of that. So now my impression is a lot better than it was when I originally first saw it and wasn't too excited about it.
this game makes me frustrated sometimes. Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Like when I first started playing, obviously I was playing the mage deck, and then it was so funny because I was playing the deck wrong, and it's funny because as someone, oh no, that's a video. Okay, it was funny because I was playing it like I would have all these I guess we'll say creatures in my deck, and then I played this other mage, and I realized, oh wait, I'm playing it wrong because mage is spellcast, and they kind of do this, and I changed over to a hunter now, and then I was doing the challenges that they have during the like beat this boss and you get an extra card thing.
Oh yeah.
And I played a druid, and I was like, man, druids are fun.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
druids are one of the classes that are good with creatures.
it's just funny how, like I said, for me, like card gaming in general is not my strongest profession, but I feel like it's probably the easiest game you could pick up and master, but you can get your butt kicked on a regular and keep coming back.
I feel like I was kind of, after like Robert standing on my shoulder like a couple times and just doing like tutorial stuff, I felt like I figured out a lot faster, and unlike in Magic when I play, I ask like 100 million questions, and I don't feel like I need to ask a bunch of questions necessarily about what am I doing. I feel like you kind of pick up on it a little bit faster once you get the whole numbers thing down, which I'm not good with at times, because I see the cards and I see what my damage is, but sometimes it doesn't sink in like, oh, hey, I can totally kill that guy right now, just with what I have on the board. And you know, eventually I got that, so I was happy it didn't take that long to kind of catch on, as it would with some other games I've played.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually found it really interesting watching Sonia play the game because
Isn't it fun?
it was one of those things where I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure how she was going to do, and not because I didn't believe that she was capable of playing a good game, but I guess the bigger concern was that she wasn't going to quite get it. You know, like it wasn't going to be her thing, or it was going to be frustrating, or I don't know. I just wasn't sure. I just wasn't sure because I know that card games sometimes, collectible card games and deck building games can be, you know, the mechanics can be simple, but the depth of the game can be very challenging. Knowing, you know, what board control is and having card advantage and all these different things that are so important for experienced play. But watching her play it and discovering that the beauty of Hearthstone is its simplicity, and seeing her get it, just watching her sit there and count the numbers and look at the cards that she has and figure out what will be the best play, and in my head, having experience, already knowing like what the best option is, but watching her do it, and then she goes and does it, and she you know, does exactly what I would have done, you know, and it's just really thrilling to kind of see that happen, you know, and I don't know, that was exciting to watch her do that, and I'm still watching her play the game, and it's neat to see her learn the same things I've learned, but also picking up those fundamentals that I kind of mentioned.
You're just saying that because you have a really good deck.
Well, no, I'm saying that because it's I'm very impressed by the way Blizzard has managed to create a game that is so
It's friendly.
it's so easy that anyone can pick up, but someone like myself or Tony that's been playing collectible card games and things like that for a while, we still find a lot of value and depth in it, and that's like that's a big deal. That I think is a big deal, because I think Magic, I've read before, we've talked about this before, Magic has on occasion suffered and still battles with this whole you know, trying to bring new people into the game. You know, they keep their current audience by making the game more complex, more elaborate, more interesting, but at the same time they have to make it a little bit they have to make it a little, I don't want to say easier, but they have to keep finding ways to teach people new things. And that's a whole challenge, and Hearthstone's managed to do that very, very well.
It's lucky. It has the advantage of being new compared to Magic, though. So
That's
it doesn't
true.
really have as big of an established fan base at this point, probably, than Magic has. So maybe that's the advantage that they have, being able to do that. But I can still see it in the mechanics that it's definitely new-friendly compared, especially for me, because I am new to most games. So when I played Magic for the first time after years and played this I would go to before I probably would go to Magic, even though I do like it.
Mm-hmm.
I do like it, but I think now that I played this, I'd probably play this first with somebody than I would actually play Magic.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, a big thing Magic has that I like that Hearthstone doesn't is instants, where you can cast instants at any time. So, like, during your opponent's turn, you can kind of surprise them, and they can even cast instants to counter your instants, so it gets kind of crazy. And that's something that Hearthstone doesn't have, so you can very easily think out your moves and not really be scared of your opponent just throwing a wrench in your plans, you know. and I
Right.
think that helps a whole lot for new players to get them excited and have fun.
Also, that whole idea of Magic has two different ways of playing it. It either has it the face-to-face or it has it online. So online, you can hide just like in Hearthstone, and you really don't have to see that intimidation of, you know, the person right in front of you. Magic has that aspect to it that you're not going to get with Hearthstone, so I could see, you know, playing both for those two reasons. I think I would probably continue to play Magic face-to-face, and of course, this is Hearthstone's the only way to play it is online, so.
Yeah,
Well,
that's true.
Magic also has, it's been out for what, like 20 years, like forever.
Yeah, more than 20 now.
It has a well-established community. Like it is what it is. But it also has this image of only nerds play Magic. It's kind of like so. WoW came in, and now WoW is doing, or Blizzard in general is doing this casual gamer, accepting to be a gamer kind of thing. They put out this card game, and it's just one more thing that they're saying that it's okay to play a game.
That's true. Yeah,
They also,
like. Sorry.
They're treading on any game developer board or digital or whatever. Once you establish your concrete, then you can start adding stuff to it. I mean, I'm sure when what's it called, the other card game came out, they had like Magic. They had like maybe 200 cards, and then they had more and more and more and more to it. I mean, Hearthstone's only a year old, maybe 2 years old, if that.
A year.
Yeah,
I think around a year, maybe.
So, like, you hear a lot of people complaining, oh, they don't have a lot of cards yet. It's kind of, you can't just be dumping cards in there. You got to kind of make it interesting for the for the marathon. So.
Yeah.
Plus, it's more exciting, that reveal as far as the marketing and everything goes. It's like new cards. Oh my God, everyone gets excited. And you don't really want to give everything to everybody, and then there's nothing new.
Yeah, but Magic does that like every 3 months, so it's kind of interesting where it's like, yeah, there's new cards and it's really cool, and there's hundreds of new cards, but it's like every 3 months there's new ones. So.
Yeah.
I mean, I just got
It's
this
a little crazy.
last night. Like I literally got this game like at 2 o'clock yesterday in the evening. Played it.
Nice.
So I played it all effing day. Because I'm at my friend's place and I'm dog sitting. I'm kind of stuck there. So I was like, I'll play this and kind of do this. And then next you know, it's like 5 hours later. I'm like, oh my God, what just happened?
Yeah.
And then so, like right now, I'm trying to challenge Robert to 1v1, but he's being chicken right now, playing some rando.
No, actually, this other person that I'm playing is actually someone I had we had hoped to have actually join us, but he is currently he can't. Long story short, he can't join us right now.
He can't talk, but he can play.
Instead, he's getting his butt kicked for your pleasure.
Mages I find are hard to play, like even like in WoW and like in Hearthstone. It's they have a lot of ways. They have to set up a lot of moves to just, unlike let's say, like for me a hunter. Well, I mean, any class has their own way of setting up attacks. Like I just played a rogue and got my butt stomped. Like I mean, granted, you can always get the perfect draw and win, and you can beat anyone at a card game. But I find mages they have to like, they're they put down like 1+1 spell casting, but their spells cost. Well, granted, I haven't bought any packs yet, so I only have like 4 spells. But it just seems for them they have to like just kind of build their ability up really quick. Like 7 armor, really, Robert? Jesus! Oh my God!
Let me click on him for a second. Let's see what he's up to.
Ridiculous.
Wow.
Let's do this. Let's play that. Let's
Let's kill that mage.
For mages, when you get more cards, are there a lot more cards available that give you more mana?
Only the druid has cards that give you more mana quickly.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's kind of a druid thing. Although the mage does have cards that will reduce the cost of the cards you or the spells that you play.
Like this dude's pretty good.
Oh, yeah,
the
that's true.
Archmage. He's pretty good, but
He's
useless now
expensive.
because he's useless right now because Robert's just gonna one shot him. Like
Yeah.
he has to have someone in front of him to taunt to take the blow, and then he can be useful. Like
Well, Robert has a freaking execute. You can.
yeah.
Honestly, I'm thinking for this I might just
Just
attack
attack his
through.
face. Yeah.
I think I'm just gonna attack through, and then oops, hold on, let's do this. No, I'll save it.
I love the way that all the little aspects of this game art-wise,
Mhm.
and the sound
Yeah.
effects and the little bursts for points and everything. I just love all that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they worked really hard on the R8 animation. Every single card has like a little like voiceover when it comes into play and stuff. It's
Mhm.
it's
I
awesome.
just like how there wasn't just one artist that drew up all these cards. Like you can see some of these cards were not WoW drawn. They were like that card right there that just came out. That's
Yeah.
some other artist right there.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Let's do these.
I would love to just examine the cards, all of them, really closely, just to see what kind of detail is in them. So I'm sure there's stuff we're missing. Let me just throw them out there.
Yeah.
Jeez, Robert, just be easy on him. Give him a cigarette. God.
Just smash, right?
that's
Isn't this what he's called?
yeah.
Like,
This deck is called Smash. Although I don't know. I don't know if this guy's played very much or if he knows what he's doing because
How many cards does he have? He has a lot of cards.
I have no idea.
Put your mouse over his hand. It tells you.
He's
Yeah,
got.
or well, the hand you could count, I think. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
it tells you. Yeah, that's true.
I think the issue here is that I don't know. I guess I don't know why he's not doing very well.
Yeah, he just
could have just got- he
just
could have got a
committed
bad draw.
suicide.
He could have had a bad
committed
draw, but-
suicide.
Yeah, at the
No,
same
he-
time. Huh?
I don't know why, but he just committed suicide right now. He could have killed your guy.
Oh, right.
Well, it's frozen, so I guess he's not dead yet.
He's prolonged the inevitable.
Yeah.
That's happened.
oh, man.
You know what I think it is? I tend to play these more rushy decks that are more aggressive early, and I think a lot of people, I don't know if it's right now or just in general, really like these big combo decks. You know, they're waiting for that big, I'm going to play 2 or 3 cards and I'm just going to blast you for 1,000,000 points, and I try not to let them get to that point.
Could you hover
Right,
over
right.
that dragon? I want to see what it is really quick before it goes away. Oh, that's cool.
That's a good one for a caster in general.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely.
Like, see, like right now he just casted that. That's what he just did was a pretty decent combo, but you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was good because it's got spell damage on both these cards, and that increased the spell he just cast to do more damage. So that
Oh
was.
my God, you're gonna demolish his board right now, aren't you?
I'm thinking about it. Seems like it might. It would just be.
I mean, it would cost you 3 cards, but
Why not?
Wow.
Bird. Oh, actually, he's just gonna fireball that. Dude.
yeah, he's just gonna fireball it. Whoops.
In any case, but yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where it's exciting that Sonia and I can have a conversation about this game. You know, I feel like it might take a little while. I mean, Sonia and I can have good conversations about Magic, but I feel like
That's stupid. Sorry.
I feel like we could have more conversations about this game. You know, and she's only just started playing.
Sonya, what's your account? Let's go. Let's
look at
see what
that.
you got.
Oh, you want to face me? All right.
We're
I'll play that.
I'll type it in there. I'm trying to remember what my numbers are.
It's like
Yeah,
right
I know
over.
the numbers are so hard. Yeah, you can invite Shane.
Let's see.
Wait, Shane, did you invite me to a match?
No, I just sent you a friend request.
Okay. Yeah, like I already accepted it. Do I need to go into play? I'm confused.
Hold on, I'm gonna play wrong. There we go.
See if I can do this.
There we go.
I'm not gonna play you, Robert, because I don't have a strong deck. Like you bought what, like the 50-pack card thing?
It should be Shane versus Sonya, and
I have like nothing.
Yeah.
That's okay.
No,
You guys
but that's
Yes.
better. Because
No,
the thing
Sonya,
is,
let's go. Let's see what you got.
and in fact,
because Shane, I have like the same packs as Robert, so.
yeah.
Okay.
I want to watch Shane and Sonya play. This should be interesting.
I could try. Let me get back in. Relaunch game. What? Okay. Let me see. Sorry, my thing quit on me. Okay. I think I put down my sound. I hope.
Okay.
What's really cool is
Nice.
I was able to put my original WoW character name on mine. So.
Oh, nice.
Nice. Yeah, me too. That's what Dakota is. That's my
like,
warrior character.
Well, originally I was gonna do some other name, and then I was like, wait a minute, let me see if someone actually took this name. Nope.
Yeah.
Sure. Can you see my screen now?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm
Can I show
gonna
my screen too? You know.
I'll have to click on me.
You don't have to. Oh no!
Oh, no.
Ah, we're so confused.
Yeah.
So what do I go to my? I haven't played against. Oh wait, I have to add you. Or
Yeah, you.
oh, I
click
think I
the
got you
check mark.
Yeah. And don't you worry about clicking on it, Sonya. We'll click on yours.
okay. Do I just wait?
Huh?
What am I doing right now?
Am
Oh.
I being invited or am I invited?
No. It looks like he sent you an invite.
Okay.
No, I haven't done it yet. Let's see.
I got a friend invite.
That's me.
Okay, so yeah, now Shane will send you an invite.
Okay.
I'm going to show.
No, I'm all
So-
nervous. Now I play really bad.
Aw, it's okay. All in good fun.
Alright, here we go.
Yeah, a few days
Alright,
ago,
baby.
my brother kicked my butt with one of those combo rogue decks that just starts drawing all of their cards, and then you can't do anything about it until they kill you.
Yeah, I
It's
can't.
I guess I'll just play with what I'm used to right now.
Yeah,
Yeah, just,
it's one of those things.
I've made
Like-
3 variations of 100 decks, so.
I haven't like gone through my deck and done anything really. Oh
I
no!
feel, okay.
Oh,
Also,
not a
no,
hunter.
no cheating. No cheating.
Oh yeah, you guys can see each other's hands.
I just.
Oh yeah,
I'm only looking at Robert's.
I
I'm
shared
looking
my
at.
screen, so I don't want to do that. Oh, do whatever.
I'm locking on Robert's face, so. I'm
you
just
guys
looking at
can
his
just
reaction.
minimize it.
No,
I
no,
totally didn't even like. I'm not even thinking. This is
But
bad.
yeah, I'm not I'm not gonna help
I mean,
anyone.
if
I just want to watch and see how this goes down.
Yeah, like
Is it
if you
my
just if you just have Hearthstone up, you're not gonna cheat.
I mean, I have the 2 little mini things on my other monitor, but I'm looking at Robert's face, his big grin.
Yeah, I'm all excited to see what happens.
Well,
I'll tell you one thing, I love these little things, interactions you can do.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah.
I have to wait.
Yeah, it's so silly. It's like because Blizzard has so much money, they could just like throw it all in there. It's like we like don't have anything else to do. Just give these little things animation, so when they click them, stuff will happen. Yeah,
Yeah.
sure, okay.
Well, that's what I mean. I've looked at quite a few different like digital card games, and honestly, what makes this one really phenomenal, other than just the quality gameplay, is the fact that it's got such a well done interface and everything feels fantastic. You know, I joke about how, you know, every time I play the game, I'm always like smash, smash, and it's because of the sound when the cards, hit each other. There's this smashing sound that's so rewarding that it's exciting. You just feel it. You feel it. And all the animations and sound effects have just been done so well. I mean, granted, they had the advantage of having all these assets, just about all these assets available to them. So it's not too far-fetched that they would be able to create that sort of quality. But yeah, that definitely makes it good.
Yeah, and I mean, they actually put the money into it, it's like they're not half-assing it or anything. So it's like, even though they have money, you do have to give them credit for being able or being willing to spend that money and like go all the way, to make
absolutely.
this an awesome game. So, yeah, that spider that they made that came out, that's really good for a hunter deck. Yes, because I don't know if you. I don't know if you have it yet, Shane. But there's a bird, starving buzzard, I think it's called.
I'm about to put him right on.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Like he's insane and like that spider is really good with him.
No. Poop.
Poop.
I'm trying. Really?
It's okay.
Should I do that? No.
Actually, mages are like one of the scariest things for hunters, I think. Maybe that's why Shane doesn't like them so much. Because they have the most crowd control. They have the most hit everything spells. So, hunters want to put all their creatures on the board as soon as they can. And mages can kill them all. So, it's a scary matchup.
Sonya needs an arcane blast.
Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!
But I guess
Okay.
if we should talk or if we should just watch, I don't know. But if we want to talk, I feel like we can talk about the expansion that came out recently.
Yeah. Yeah, what were your thoughts on the expansion, Tony?
Well, I like how they're rolling it out. I kind of don't like the amount of cards. There's I think only 30 cards in the expansion, so it's a lot less cards than I'm used to for expansion and Magic. But that's just my experience.
Yeah.
But the way they do it,
Sorry. Sorry.
Oh.
I'm probably not going to do that.
See, I just want to point out real quick
that's right.
the fact that Sonya and Shane have come from two very different worlds, and they're both playing the exact same game and have had about the same amount of time playing it, and they're both pretty even matched, I mean, right now it's kind of anybody's game, and I think that's really impressive because some games it's like you just get steamrolled.
Yeah, that's true.
Still nervous.
As you should be.
Yes, we know what Shane's holding.
Because everyone's watching.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you know everything.
But yeah, I really like how they laid out the expansion and just there's a bunch of single player stuff. I think the heroic is kind of silly. I don't know if you guys tried the heroic at all, but the hero abilities are insanely overpowered. The hero ability for the first guy, the first time you play against him, he can make a 3/1 for 2 mana, which is actually really strong.
Yeah.
But if you play against him in heroic, he makes a 4/4 for 2 mana. It's unless you have an insane deck, there's just no way to beat it,
Yeah, I honestly don't think that I don't think you're supposed to be able to beat those without having a very, very powerful deck.
Yeah.
I think that's why it's heroic. You know, that's kind of the game's, that's kind of the end game content. And so without that level of difficulty, almost on, you know, the level of absurd, like, you know, it's almost necessary. But I agree. Like, a friend of mine at work was able to beat. A friend of mine at work was able to beat the first or the second boss, like on his first try, and but had trouble on the first boss. I beat the first boss on like the second try, but the second boss was just like lots of trouble. I could not beat him.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's interesting in the sense that it's everyone's kind of experience is a little different.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and if you're really having trouble, you kind of probably want to adjust your deck, because it's like, I think the second boss is the one where for 2 mana she can hit like multiple things for 1 damage based on the amount of cards in your hand. So if you just have a bunch of cards, like your deck is just holding all the cards, then you're gonna die.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, you just kind of gotta build stuff against it.
I love that.
Oh my god, I forgot about mages.
I'm enjoying
Sonia,
watching.
did you pick mage because Shane was like complaining about it earlier today?
No, I actually, it's the only one that I'm decently good at right now because it's the only one I've really been playing.
Gotcha. Yeah, actually, you're
Just kick my butt.
you're scary right now. Yeah.
Well, get rid of that.
Ouchies. Ouchies.
I mean, unless I get something good, I think she's got it. I
Does
think
she have a fireball? Do you have a fireball, Sonia? I'm gonna see if you have a fireball.
She hit me with one already.
Yeah. Because that would kill him. Oh, sorry, Shane. I helped.
No, she didn't get one, did she?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Gotta let her make the decision here.
I'm sorry, Shane.
Oh my god.
She drew into it. Yeah, that's the scary thing about mages. They have those fireballs, and like I think they have pyroblast too that can do 10 damage.
I want a rematch.
It unlocks the hunter for you even if it's another player?
I guess so.
Yay, I did it for you.
Yeah.
I think early on it unlocks cards for you because the basic cards are ones that you're kind of gonna get.
Okay.
Oh, you declined?
Well, I wanted to get back to discussion.
Okay.
How do I get out of the? What do I do? How do I end this?
We
there we
have 5 minutes, I guess. Well, I don't know. Do you guys want to go beyond 8 since we started late, or?
Yeah, 15 minutes because that's when we started. So 8:15. Is that okay?
Yeah.
I'm okay with
Okay.
I'd also like to point out, other than the fact that my face looks incredibly red right now, but I'd also like to point out that, one more time. Hold on.
What did you do?
I'm trying to turn the light on. It's because your screen's a little red, and I have the game on the other screen. It's just lots of warm colors. Doesn't matter.
Oh yeah, because I used the worm enhancer.
I want to point out. I want to point out that this is probably the first game out where we have actually been playing the game and being more interested in actually playing it than talking about it. Which is not necessarily a bad thing. I think for the game it's a great thing because, you know. Go ahead, Tony.
Oh, sorry. Well, we also had 2 people playing against each other. So we never had that before.
No.
So that kind of makes it more exciting, I think.
Yeah.
Mm.
And Sonia, you're gonna have to give Shane an opportunity to redeem him.
Oh yes, no, definitely.
I
We
just
can
need
do
a
it after this if you're still available. I just wanted to bring it back to the discussion portion.
Yeah.
She just wanted to shame you first and then leave you waiting.
He's like, you're below me. It's all right.
That was fun though.
But
that was the first time I played against somebody else on my account.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
You're welcome. It's on the internet now.
I was so nervous though. I was like, oh god. Oh, god.
I hate those owls so much.
The owls, yeah.
Oh my god.
They're inexpensive, but they can have a huge effect if you play them at the right time.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, if you hate them, join them. I think the owls are actually beasts. So
actually,
they work with hunter decks.
I have a question for you guys, and I'll give you my answer first to give you kind of an idea of what I'm talking about. But what aspects of the game frustrate you? And I don't mean like, well, okay. There's really two questions here. You know, what do you not like about the game, and then what parts of the game give you great challenge? And I just want to bring up the great challenge part first, because we can talk about what you don't like. But one of the things I have so much trouble fighting against priests. Like, I lose to other decks all the time, but when I do, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, you know, I was outplayed. But when I lose to a priest deck, I'm so enraged because they have cards that'll just they have cards that outright kill things just because they're a certain thing, or they have their mind controls, or they'll take cards from your hand, or they'll copy them rather, or they'll copy cards from your deck, and there's one priest card. There's two priest cards I absolutely hate, but there's one that drives me nuts because I swear every priest has that card, like first play. I believe it costs 1. It has 1 attack and 3 health, and it allows you to draw a card anytime a minion is healed. So this card will get played, and like just hit things and then get healed, and hit things and get healed, and and because it's a 1/3, it's kind of difficult to kill early in the game without, like, you know, a little extra effort than usual. So it's just, it's so frustrating. Priests drive me nuts.
I mean, aren't some characters just better against others? I mean, I know the deck counts too, but just the way that they play. Like, Norbert's not here, but he was mentioning that he has a priest deck, and his like main enemy or bane of his gameplay is the mages. And so I don't know.
Yeah, I certainly feel like there's some rock paper scissors there. But almost any deck I play, I feel like the people I have the most frustrating trouble with are the priests. I wouldn't say they're overpowered, but I guess for my play style, the priest is a very frustrating deck to play against. Tony?
Oh, okay. My greatest challenges in the game. I feel like right now, like when it was in beta, it was very easy for me to just kind of steamroll people. Like, I can say I was probably over 90% wins in just play mode. Not in ranked, because if I played ranked, then people would steamroll me.
Yeah.
So the thing that really challenges me now, though, is kind of, I guess it's kind of the same as complaints also, is that people net deck a lot, and that's a normal thing. That's just something that's going to happen these days with the internet. Like, you know, people find a deck that's really awesome and just works amazing, and then it just spreads to the community, and then everybody that plays a rogue deck plays that specific rogue deck, and you're like, damn it, I'm going to lose again. So it's definitely the biggest challenge for me nowadays, which makes me miss the beta a little bit. And I think something that Blizzard did with the daily quests kind of makes that happen, because there's only two rooms. There's the ranked play, and then there's the casual play. And people that need to get their wins up, like if they're ranked like first place, and they really want to win, they're not going to play ranked and have to face against the best people. They're just going to go to casual play, and they'll stomp on somebody with their tier 1 deck. So it's kind of frustrating for me, and it's also very challenging. I just gotta, I gotta work with what I got, and try not to net deck because I don't really like doing that. So.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't like when people do that. I think it just makes everything more boring when everyone has the same stuff.
Yeah, you're just not. Yeah, you're just trying to win.
Yeah. Frustrations. Math. I do love numbers, but still, I'm not a big math person. So sometimes I'll be like, I think I have enough, and then I'll be wrong. And I don't know. I guess nerves plus having to do math is what's hard for me.
Yeah.
It's really silly, but.
And there's the timer too, so that kind of puts pressure on you to add it up quickly.
Yeah, I don't. Just that gets me, and then I'm like, and I'm all nervous. And good thing my screen was being shared because then I'll see my nervous face. I'm like, this is not dejected. So, other than that, I mean, I haven't played enough to really get really frustrated. I did have trouble the first time with the hunter against the mage because I got a couple new cards recently that I used in this last match that I feel like helped a lot. The ones that dealt the through random damage. I didn't have those before, and I felt like that really helped with all those tiny little minions that pop out, especially those spiders, which I hate. I had trouble with that the first time, but not so much now. But I'm sure when I start playing more and more, there will be things that come up, and Tony, like you said, those super decks that people come up with, I'm certain that will make me angry.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that.
Yeah. But, I mean, for me, I'm more interested in playing with friends, so maybe I don't expect my friends to do stuff like that. So I figured, they're original. They want to make their own decks.
Net decking is evil.
What about you, Shane?
For me, the most frustrating thing, I guess just it's so clean how the game actually works. I think I just lost. I'm playing a druid right now, and oh man, it's just, I guess, I don't know, for me, the entire experience can go from you were winning to I just lost, just like that.
Yeah.
Like yesterday, I was playing the mage and I was just playing it, and I had 3 hit points left, and he had 25, and I was grinding and grinding and grinding, and then I clicked my spell and I hit myself on accident. I was like,
oh no.
Are you kidding me? I just conceded. I was like, all right, good game, bye.
Yeah, mistakes could be really frustrating.
Because I'm not good at, I drag everything. I know Robert, you said tapping's better, so I could see myself totally ruining my own,
Tapping's not necessarily better, but you can do it. I've made mistakes because of dragging, but, you can do either.
I did today, just dragging. Person had 3 hit points, and I had my ability shot, and I had an arrow, and I actually shot myself. I was like, wow. Gosh. I just conceded. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
So. It's like, I can't.
Something kind of segueing into other parts of the game that, what we don't like. I like the game a lot in many ways. I'm actually really impressed with their business model, which we can talk about. And I think the reason I'm so impressed with it is that it's one of the only free-to-play games other than League of Legends where I felt like I can really enjoy just about the entire game without spending a cent. And after I had played it for probably a month, I decided, you know what? I don't mind paying some money to enhance my experience a little bit. And I ended up buying the 40 pack offer, which I felt was perfect. You know, like it's $50, which is basically the cost of a game if you were going to buy it, and I had already been playing it for a while. You get 40 packs, which gives you 200 cards, random cards. And I got a ton of cards, and any cards I had duplicates of, I could disenchant and then create into the cards I wanted, and it kind of put me in a position where I had a lot more to work with, but I still had plenty to work for. You know, I didn't just buy the end game scenario and then I was done, you know, and I got bored, which was really what my concern was with any of these games. When you buy that stuff is you get to the end of the game quicker. I didn't really want that. But I spent the $50, I got the 40 packs, and now I'm just kind of sitting kind of comfortably on a nice little bed of options. But there's still a bunch of cards and a bunch of things I'm learning and doing and needing to achieve that keep the game fresh. But one of the things that does frustrate me about this game, or that I don't like about the game, is their draft arena mode. And the reason I say that is I actually like it in theory, but the problem I have with it is that you have to spend either 150 gold, which is 50 gold more than you would spend to get a pack of cards, or $1.99 to get into the arena. And then the way it works is that you are shown 3 cards, 3 kind of randomly chosen cards. You pick one, and that's added to your deck. Then you choose from another random 3 cards, and you do that until you have a full deck of 30 cards. And that's really cool. And when the first couple of times I did it, I thought that was great. And when you complete an arena, you always get 1 pack of cards, so you kind of get your money back, and then you get a little extra bonus. And if you do really well, you can actually you can get more than the 150 gold than you actually got. So it can be a really beneficial thing. The problem I have with it is that in a lot of other drafting games, you draft a bunch of cards, and then you build your deck from the cards that you drafted. Whereas in this, you draft your cards as you get them, and then you're stuck with them. So I feel like it's difficult to build a strategy or a plan around the cards that you're getting, because you don't know what you're going to get, and you don't know what you're going to end up with. So the very first card you pick is kind of like, all right, well, which of the 3 cards is best? And then the next 3 is like, okay, which of these cards are best, and does it work with the previous card? And you keep doing that until you have a deck. But I've had times where it's just like, that's not great, that's not great, this isn't, okay, fine, this might work, maybe I'll get this, I didn't get that, and it becomes kind of a mess. And what it has turned into for me, and I think other people, is that there's kind of like a best practices when it comes to arena, and it seems like the most successful arena decks are not the ones that are creative, that drafted a really unique set of cards, but the people who took the most safe set of cards, the set of cards that's basically going to win no matter what class you are or what combination you play, because they're good kind of basic type cards. And there's even, I hate to say it, there's even tools online that help you build decks that are basically, you know, like perfect based on point values and like whatever works. So I would like to see Arena change in the way that you draft a bunch of cards and then you choose from those cards what your deck's going to be, so you have a little more flexibility. But that's my thought and my rant.
I can see that, yeah. I'm mid-battle right now, so.
I haven't done that yet, but I can see that being an issue.
And if you don't have any sort of sense for drafting or deck construction, Arena is super, super hard. You know?
Yeah. I don't want to.
The first one's free.
Yeah,
Like,
but that ironically is kind of good at showing you that you're horrible at it. Ooh, it's free. I can do it. Oh my god, this is so overwhelming.
Yeah.
I'm doing it again.
And me with my math and all the stuff, I'll be like, the whole time.
Yeah. I mean,
Yes.
is that a win, Shane?
Yeah. Fucking
Nice.
Druid. I hate Druids.
But
I
yeah,
hate
Tony, what are your thoughts on the Arena draft?
Yeah, I kind of had similar thoughts because, I mean, the way Magic works when they draft is like you said, you essentially draft 42 to 45 cards, and then you make a deck which usually incorporates about 23 of those. So you get to choose about half of the cards that you drafted and then figure out which ones are in your deck. So if you have a throwaway card, you're like, well, this could have really worked if I got a combination, but it's not now, then it's not a big deal. In Hearthstone, it's kind of like, well, now I have this card that does nothing for me in my deck, which is really bad. So, yeah, it's kind of sad.
Safe bets, which is not
exactly.
fun.
Yeah, it just makes it kind of tedious and just I mean, you do learn which cards are better in a isolation, but then you're not making really cool combinations of cards that you would have never thought of in a constructed setting because you're stuck with it. Which is one of the things that's awesome with Magic drafting is like you start, because you have random cards, you start pulling things together and you go, oh my god, this works really well with this, and then you get ideas and stuff like that. But Hearthstone, you kind of can't do that and win consistently. So yeah.
I have a question for you guys. One, I just got my first secret card.
Cool.
But for me, I discovered secret cards when I was playing a Hunter, and it was a standard trap card, and I was like, oh, I guess Hunters have traps. And then like 3 games later, I'm playing, I don't know, a Shaman, and he had a secret card. I'm like, Shamans don't have secrets. Like, what's going on here? And it took me a second to realize that, like, oh wait, everyone has the ability to do that.
I think it's only like 4 or 5 heroes, so it's not all of them. But
Paladins have it. I know that much.
Yeah.
Mages, Hunters, Paladins.
I think that might be it. Actually, that's it. Yeah. Mages, Hunters, and Paladins.
And
what does it look like? I don't think I've seen it.
Well, when you play a secret, or when an opponent plays a secret, a little like circle with a question mark appears over their character icon. And that's to indicate that they've played a secret. And you don't know what that secret is, hence the name secret. But
Shane, did you play it when I played? Shane, did you play that when I played?
No, I didn't have one.
Oh, okay.
I just got my first secret mage card, and I don't play mage that much now.
Oh, okay.
So, but it's. I hate you, Robert, for inviting me to this because I'm addicted. I forgot how much I didn't play card games, and then now I'm like, man, I need to play this game more often.
Yeah.
And I will say this, unlike Magic, this Hearthstone does kind of bring that anyone can play this kind of game, where like Magic, you have to like go to locations, like God forbid you leave your house or your couch kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's very convenient, and also the other touch-up when we were talking about like the graphic interface. When Magic made its online thing, it wasn't the most prettiest one. It reminded me of that one PvP MMO game that came out like 4 or 5 years ago, and its whole selling point was, yeah, everything's PvP. We're the WoW killer, and it had to be the most ugliest game ever. And it was just, now that I'm thinking about it, like Magic's just like, I think Magic needs to realize that it needs to like pull away from like the online community and just stick to the you know, the brick and mortar mentality. Like we play by cards, and then like Hearthstone would be a very good mentality of teaching someone how to like set up plays or look at a deck and stack your deck accordingly how you want to play it, kind of thing. I don't think it'll ever really get as complicated as Magic. I'll even go so far as like Yu-Gi-Oh is more complicated than Hearthstone. I played that for about a year or so.
Yeah. Well, I think well, and I've heard too that with Magic Online, the people who love Magic, the card game, don't really enjoy the online game quite as much because there's things missing. But there's a lot of people, you know, particularly the physical aspect of actually sitting in front of someone and playing with the cards and all that. But for people who are not familiar with Magic, or maybe not as diehard, they tend to enjoy the online experience because they can get a little bit of that. And apparently it's one of the reasons why Magic has actually grown in popularity. The actual brick and mortar physical card purchases has grown in popularity is because of the digital game. And, I was talking to one of my friends who plays Magic, you know, quite passionately, and he was saying that, you know, in a lot of ways, it was the digital card game that got him into it, because he hadn't played Magic really before, maybe a little bit in the past, but his friends at work were playing it, and he tried that, and he thought it was kind of cool, but he didn't want to invest the money. But then he played the online version because it was free, cheap, or something, and he got so into it there, he's like, okay, I've got to play the physical game, and now he's like a, you know, full-on customer. What I think is interesting is that Magic, because the cards are really what's so interesting, it's hard to translate onto the computer, which is why, to your point, Shane, it just doesn't quite look as good, and you know, it's just a little weird. Hearthstone, on the other hand, is kind of the opposite. I feel like if you actually made a physical version of Hearthstone, it would not be nearly as good, because it would be a very, very simple game that would have no real flavor to it. You know, like the effects, the sounds,
all the bells and whistles make it
exciting. All that stuff. And Hearthstone, I feel, is honestly one of the few games where I feel like the visuals are almost as important as the gameplay. Because without the visuals, the gameplay would really not be anything to, you know, to shake a stick at, if you will.
To sneeze at, I think that's the...
To sneeze at, yeah.
No, that's your phrase now, shaking sticks.
Yeah. But yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah.
And it's on tablets, Shane, so you can take it outside your house.
I do. I have a tablet like right there. There it is, right there.
Yeah.
Why can't they get on Android?
It's coming.
Because I play it non-stop all day long. I'd never ever stop. I just play it all day.
I would sit at the Starbucks and play this all day, and then just I hate card games so much. Like it's like Coke. Like it's just like you got that itch. You're like, man, I gotta think, and then for me, like I said, card games for me, it's I guess for me like as thinking in like the style of games, like you know how people could play a game and they're already thinking like, how do I break the game per se? Like you said, the people who make those decks online. It's like I don't think like that, but it's funny to. I guess I don't know. It's just I don't think like, hey, if I play this or like I discovered moves like today. Like I had that one thing where you play a beast. You get a card, draw a card, and then they had some like 4 cards, and they're like, hey, bring on the hounds, and I had the bird on there, and I had like 4. I'm like, oh wow, that was an OP move, like oh god, like just I don't want to research it at all. I want to learn these moves myself and be like, wow, that was a really good move, and then holy cow, that was a really good move, like
yeah.
So I guess for me that feeling of learning moves is what's kind of making me keep going.
Yeah. No, and that's so true, because that's I think one of the things the game does so well is you have these like like these, light bulb turning on moments where you're just like, oh, that's so cool. I never thought of that. And sometimes it's a mistake, or sometimes you read it and you're just like, I wonder if this happens. And then you hit the button and it does, and you're just mind blown.
Yeah. I guess I would kind of against like when you're playing by. I remember a long time ago when Pokemon tried making a card game, and we were all collecting the cards regardless. So I was like, all right, let's make let's make decks. So we all made our decks, and then we're reading the rule book, and this is like in 2003, 2002, no, 98, like way back when, and the computers weren't as, you didn't go on the internet, you had to read the book. So books kind of came down to interpretation, and we were looking at each other. It was like, yeah, but if you play this, and to evolve this, you have to put this on this. And we're like, okay. So we tried playing the game, and we're like, man, this game is terrible. Like, and of course we could have been playing it wrong, but it's just like, I guess playing this game online, you are playing in that box, and there's no interpretations like, oh, I can't do that. Like, I had a stealth, and I put a buff on him that makes him taunting, but then it tells me you can't taunt while you're in stealth, but it kept like the halo around it. I was like, oh, alright, cool, I didn't know that. So
yeah, it handles the roles, which is really good, because like you were saying, like even Magic back in the day really had problems with roles, and well, even now, but just people trying to interpret it and just not getting things right. I remember way back early on when I played and I learned how to play. So Magic cards have something called vigilance sometimes, which means when you attack with your creature, it doesn't tap. So it essentially it's not used up when a creature has vigilance. And so we thought there was this one bird for 2 mana that had vigilance, and we were like, oh, okay, so if you can't block me, then I'm just going to attack you until you're dead. And so like we just like thought that this random card was like the most powerful thing in the world because we were like 10 years old, and there were a lot of misinterpretations back before the internet that just kind of really screwed things up for people.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's where the house rules come into play.
Yeah.
Like we were playing Munchkin, and there's like this one card that says you die, you lose everything, you're level 1, and it's like, wow, that's worse than just dying. Like,
yeah.
If you die, so we made a house rule that says if you die, you get pillage, but you lose 2 levels, kind of thing. Like and then even then we're kind of thinking like, man, we need to like make that like worse, because you could die and just be like, my hand sucks, I'm gonna die, and then trade out your hand. So the ability to have house rules versus the ability of playing in a box, it's kind of pick your poison where you want to play that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I think for physical games, yeah, definitely, but obviously online it wouldn't really.
Could you imagine someone's like, no, that's not how it works?
There would be so much chaos. It would just be crazy.
I'm so glad.
A little bit like that in the beta.
They removed. I'm so glad that there's no chat in Hearthstone. Or I'm glad you have your 6 talks and like that's it. Like, I can just imagine some like 12-year-old kid raging at me because I killed his like cow or whatever, and he's just mad at me. Or some 35-year-old dude that's just like, you're pathetic, meh,
Yeah. Or the fact that, well, my name is Squirrel Girl, so it'd be like, are you a girl? And then that would just be the end of that.
That's true.
Although I've certainly seen people like a couple times, not too many times, but I've seen people a couple times utilize those little emotes in ways that were a little bit trolling. I was playing against a guy that just kept going, greetings. Sorry.
You can squelch them.
Yeah. I learned about that during that game, but and I know they have a timer on there now, so after you do something, you can't just repeat it again. But sometimes they'll be winning. They'll be winning really, really hard. And they'll like just do something that just devastates you, and then they'll go, "Oops," like just little things like that feels like they could be trolling.
It's still not as bad as actually typing it out and being awful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And actually, I would like there to be more emotes. You know, like occasionally someone will do something, like they'll do something that was, um, you know,
Damn.
not necessarily worth a well played, but maybe kind of like interesting or cool, or something that I don't know, just other interactions would be kind of neat.
You could even say the exact opposite. There's some plays you're just like, holy shit. Like,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I played a rogue today, and he played 4 cards and had a rogue that was Wind Fury attacking for 11, and like
Yeah.
3 rounds into, I was like, well played. Like,
Yeah.
no, that was like, wow, dude. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
you know what? In fact, they should have golf clap, just like.
Yeah.
Slow clapping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's. But then, do they have? Are they taking like I guess you say like feedback from it or kind of thing, or is it kind of like they're
I'm sure they
sticking to the
probably
6?
have forums where people can provide feedback.
Mm.
But I mean, I for the most part trust Blizzard's decision making, so I haven't really got involved with a lot of that stuff.
Mm.
Most of my suggestions I don't think would make a big enough difference in the game to really fight for. But I'm sure people will probably want more things like that, and they will probably add more.
I'm saying this right now. I hate Blizzard so much because this is going to happen. And like 3 years from now, they're going to be like, get the Hearthstone Diablo 3 greetings, and you have to die at $2.99. It's like,
Yeah. Yeah.
It's funny because like Dota and League are the same way. Like, you buy skins. They
Yep.
do not affect the game. It's just, but it makes it that feeling of the game. So I'm putting money down now. I'm going to give it. I'll put a year and a half. It's going to happen. It's going to be like, get your Christmas greetings or the Headless Horseman stuff or yada yada yada. It's like,
Yeah.
Or something weird you can put on your character or something like that.
I noticed they have a back of the card themes already. So
Yeah, but that's not money based.
how do you acquire those?
There's a couple different ways. The most obvious one right now is if you get ranked. You play ranked matches and you get to rank 20. You start at rank 25. Then you get the card back for the whole month. So they've been giving out one for like a whole month since they kind of started. So it's not bad. And to get to rank 20, like when you lose, you don't lose rank up to 20. So you could just keep playing constantly. Maybe this is bad for me to tell you, Shane, but you keep playing, and as long as you get wins, then you'll get to 20. And once you get past 20, then you can go down, but you'll never go below 20.
How does the ranking system work per se? Like, for example, League, you have your LP, or I think it's LP, and basically it's kind of like, the more you win, the more points it gives you, the higher you are to rank up quicker. And the other thing can happen too. Like, if you keep losing, if you win a game, you get like 4 points, but you'll lose a game, you'll drop like 30 points. Like, is Hearthstone the same way, or is it kind of like the best of 3 and you rank up?
No, it's just squarely based on wins and losses. They try to pair you up very similar to your rank, so you're facing people on your level almost all the time. But you get a star whenever you win. If you win consecutively, you actually get 2 stars instead of 1. So winning in a streak gets you ranks faster. And then the higher you go with ranks, the more stars you need to get to the next rank. But yeah, it's fairly simple. If you play it, it'll be pretty easy to understand. And you should be paired up with people that are your similar rank. But at the end or at the beginning of every month, they reset the ranks. So people who are in first, they do get a bonus. So they might go down to like rank 17 instead of like all the way down to rank 25. But they reset it, which can, at the beginning of a month, it can be kind of tough because like then that means you can be a total noob and you can be facing people that were in like 5th place before because they got pushed back.
Is there a thing when they reset it every month, and is there a number of people that can be ranked 1? Like there can only be like 400 people ranked 1, or like?
I don't think so. It might be different with legendary ranks, because once you get all the way to rank 1, then it switches into legendary ranks.
Okay, yeah, that'd be it.
But I don't know the specifics of that.
Like I know in League, like your challenger is the top 100 of that server, like NA or Europe, and it's like if you don't play for like 3 hours, you're getting dropped. Like
Yeah.
stuff like that. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It's not that crazy for Hearthstone. Actually, right now, ranks, the only thing that they give you for prizes right now is that card back. So once you get to rank 20, then you have whatever you're ever gonna get for being ranked. But I don't think there's a hard limit, and you might need to look it up. I don't think that they drop you if you stop playing for a while. I think you just stay at your rank, because you know, at the end of the month they drop everybody back anyways. So.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I wanted to wrap this up now. It's going. Oh, it's now 8:30. Does anyone have any other things that they wanted to discuss, or one other thing? I'm trying to think of anything that we didn't really touch on. We did talk about the art and the look of the game and all the bells and whistles and everything. I don't know. I guess Robert asked you what was your frustration, but I guess what's your favorite part? Even though we've already talked about things that we really like about it.
The more damage you have on your character, the harder the hit is.
Yeah.
Oh
That's
man,
true.
it's like the best feeling and the worst feeling at the same time.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
That and I think just like having like a 4-play or like a 4-card play that just like you do this, do this, do this, do this, and then you're just like, I guess the ability to just kind of like read your cards, like I gotta play this first and then go here and like stack your cards up. Just like what I said earlier, like that ability to just learn those stacks from yourself.
Yeah, I really like that too, and I like when you'll play a bunch of cards and just the whole bells and whistles aspect of it, when everything just blows up and you're like, oh, the board's like clear. That just feels so good. I mean, when you do that, like for example, like in Magic face to face, I mean, you know, their cards are going away, but it's not the same like, oh my god, feeling that you get when you're doing it.
You get to look at their face though. You're like, yeah, you like that?
That's
true. Could you imagine if just like Hearthstone like partnered with like Skype or something, and then you're looking at them, and you're like, yeah, you like that? You like that?
Oh, that can get kind of creepy too. It's like they're like, oh, I love beating people.
Well, technically, you could do that with friends. Just Skype with them in a corner or something.
That's true. I guess if your friends did that, then you could be like, bye.
Yeah, that's true.
Terminated. Especially if it got weird.
Yeah. But yeah, like yeah, you Sonia, especially since you're playing the mage, you definitely want to continue on, because I don't think you've unlocked it yet. There's a card called Flame Strike. It does 4 damage to all creatures. It costs 7 mana. But,
I like that.
So yeah, it usually kills everything.
It's the thing with playing mages is it's the mine. I have 1 Flame Strike because it's pretty intense. Like it's a 7 mana card.
Yeah.
But like what was it when I remember when this came out? I think it was like 6 or 8 months ago. A streamer, Saint Vicious, was playing it, and he said something like he's playing a mage, and he's like, I'm basically just waiting for the Flame Strike is what I'm waiting for. So his tactic was, I'll just put just enough out there to kind of bait that out there, and then he ended up like losing because he never played like the Flame Strike, and he was like, God damn it, like
if it doesn't come up, then fast enough, what are you gonna do? That's not a good strategy.
Well, it's just kind of those things, like, he was sitting there, and he's like, I don't want to put all my cards out there, because he's just going to put, like, 2 or 3, like, +1 spellcrafters and nerf my whole board down. And then he was, like, halfway through it, he's like, wait, I don't think he actually has it. And then he was trying to, like, fix it, and then he was too far down.
Yeah.
How many cards are actually in Hearthstone? How many different ones?
Altogether?
I'm not sure.
Figured you might know that one, Robert. You know,
Probably somewhere on the internets.
That's
Well,
true.
The answer. I'm gonna say 500. I don't know.
Wow.
Might be a
No
little
idea.
much, but I'm not sure.
I'm
Let's
guessing, and then somebody tells me the answer, and I'm really, really wrong.
I mean, I feel like there
500.
might be hundreds. How many?
500.
Yes, I was right.
Nice. You're yeah. Wow.
I
Of which
just
four
guessed that
of
one.
which 412 can be collected.
Close enough for me.
Wait, only 412?
Yeah, because I believe the other cards are either special cards that are part of tutorials or cards that are generated by other cards that are never actually physical cards unless for some reason they're returned to your hand. You know, like
Oh
for,
yeah.
like
like
the random companion for the hunter deck.
yeah,
random
like if you
companions.
hit the totem, right, and you create a totem, you never actually have a totem card, but if someone forces that totem back into your hand, you now have a card. I'm thinking that's probably what that means.
Yeah, sounds like it.
But I was so close. That's awesome. I just threw out a number. I just guessed.
Yeah, that was awesome.
I thought, oh, it's probably gonna be way more or way less. No, guess not. It sounded like a good number to me. For now, I mean, just starting.
It's a fair amount, actually.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Oh, we get dinner, Sonia.
Yes, we need to eat. So I'm gonna sign off the internets from us at least to stop the broadcast. So thank you, people out there, for watching us. I hope you had fun with our conversation, watching us play, and I hope that you played and had fun as well. So I have no idea what we're gonna do next month yet, but it'll be on what's the August August 31st at 7 again. I will change it if that doesn't work, but that looks like that's what the date will be. So Sunday, August 31st, 7 p.m. back here on G Plus and YouTube. So good night, everybody, and thanks for watching.
Yay.
Bye-bye.